The free $20,000 MLB 10 runs for free cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome into SportsBookReview.com. It is Friday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. The Ryder Cup's going on. We have football this weekend. But, boy, what a betting week it has been in Major League Baseball for us. I'm Donnie RightSide, along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the SportsBookReview.com Major League Baseball team. Yesterday, thank you, Coors Field. Thank you, Bullpen to the Rockies. Thank you, extra innings, cashing in my ticket on the Dodgers team total over. Got some good stuff today, and I got to tell you, Colorado, team total overs, maybe going back that way today. Jason, how you doing? It is a Friday.
Yeah, we went 2-1 yesterday on the value plays, so that was a good, 8-1 in the last 9 value plays. Of course, none were official, but still making money, and whatever units you guys are putting on these, I'm sure you guys are making money as well, so that's what counts the most. Right now, though, I do have a play going on in the MLB. I gave it out on my Twitter, so if you're not following me on Twitter, shame on you because we've been doing this since April, and my Twitter handle has been right in the middle of the screen all season long, and you're still not following me, so that's kind of pathetic. But anyway, Frank Schwindel just hit a double in the first inning. I have the over 8.5 in this first game of the doubleheader for the Cubs and Cardinals game with 2 lefties on the mound and a bunch of right-handed hitters. So Frank Schwindel, a guy that actually grew up in my hometown. He's a little bit older than I am, but I kind of know the family from Little League and whatnot. He was a star then and now a star now. Hit a double, and hopefully we can score him and get the ball rolling here with the over 8.5 in that game.
I just sent out a tweet here for the show. Doesn't look like one came directly from SBR, so I put it at SBR, at DFS Bachelor, and Jason Radowitz. So we should start to get some people filing in here on a Friday. Kyle feels good. Got a lot of things going on, but you know what we still have to do? Friday's payday. Win some money today.
That's right. And hey, outside the Ryder Cup, it doesn't have to compete with football today. So I should be on baseball. Of course, people ask me all the time, why the first 5s? Well, last night's a perfect example. The Braves, they lost the game because their bullpen stinks. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't lose in the first 5. They won the first 5. So our play of the day hit. We got a couple home run props in yesterday. So it was a good day. And as Jason says, he's quite astute. You have to be careful where you put your units. So that's a very astute point to start a Friday heading into the weekend. Excited to be here. Hello to the chat box. Let's rock and roll.
Absolutely. Robert Ron says, might go get a Twitter account just to follow you. Twitter is evil. Not evil if you have that check mark, so keep that out there. By the way, Esteban, behind the scenes, throw that up there on a Friday. Throw it up for me, brother, on a Friday so we can get it popping and started today. All right, let's talk. We got some afternoon Major League Baseball action that we do have to tend to, and I have to say, I know it's a doubleheader. You don't like to dip your toes in, but my goodness, the Cubs and St. Louis profiled very well today, Jason, in the early afternoon here.
Yeah, and of course, there's no runs in the first inning so far. But like I talked about on Twitter already, the lineup against Hap for the Cubs has an ISO of 262, a weighted OBA of 374. And I forgot to mention, even before, the wind blowing out 15, 20 miles per hour to straightaway center field. And it's still 75 degrees, so not that cold there either. And then, of course, the Cardinals, they've won 12 straight games, and their offense has been insane against left-handed pitching. 419 ISO, you never see that anymore. 419 ISO for the entire lineup, and also a 425 weighted on-base average for those guys. For the Cardinals against the lefty and Steele. And of course, both these pitchers have not been good with xFIPs over 5 for each of them. All been really bad against righties. And again, 16 righties in this lineup. All position players are righties in the lineups today. So yeah, we're on it. It's a doubleheader. Hate taking doubleheaders, but it just sounded too good to be true, so we're on it.
Anything for you this afternoon, Kyle, looking at the St. Louis Cardinals-Cubs game? If you give an updated number here, keep in mind, again, we're in the bottom of the first inning, but it is a 7-inning game, plus 100 on the Cubs. Over-under now set at 7.5.
Yeah, I do agree with Jason. It should be over. And look, there you go. You wait 1 inning, you need one less run. What's wrong with that? Happenstyle. These are two. I don't want to jinx Jason's bet too much here. These are two not excellent, non-excellent lefties, so there should be some runs in this game. Both lineups profile well. I didn't put anything on it because it's a doubleheader. You know how I treat that, but I do agree with Jason. There should be some runs here.
All right, let's get into the card today, this afternoon, and this evening, 7:10 start. This is exactly what we wanted. Teams battling for a playoff spot, playing head-to-head baseball. That's the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, 9:19, 9:20. Cole versus Eovaldi. Opened up at 112. All Shores a slight favorite here to the New York Yankees. They now sit at 114. Here in New Jersey, 116, now sits at 118. And if we're looking all the way across the board on totals, it is 9s. You have two really good pitchers. At least they profile two really good pitchers here. Two decent hitting lineups, absolutely. But when we're looking at playoff baseball here, are we leaning towards unders more? Or are you just saying, wait a second here, I get Garrett Cole at this cheap a price, I'm going to roll with the Yanks. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, so all of those Red or Yankees fans that were hating on the Mets for not getting the job done against Red Sox, here's your chance. You don't need anybody's help. Just you guys, the Yankees, get the job done against the Red Sox. So no quick complaining. This is your chance to prove that you belong in the playoffs right here in this series. So, the Yankees, they do profile well against Eovaldi here. 248 ISO, weighted OBA 341. They're also walking 10% of the time. And Eovaldi, he's not the highest walk guy in the league, but 6.8 walks. You'll get a couple walks here and there against him if you're patient. There's enough power in this lineup. Eovaldi, again, he's been terrific, but if I'm going to take a lineup, I think the Yankees have the better one in this game. And then, of course, Cole, on the other hand, he's been even better than Eovaldi, also striking out a high amount of batters. Walks are high, and the batting average of balls in play also high at 360. I think that batting average of balls in play probably reduces a bit in this game, and he probably gets the job done here. I don't want to be betting against Cole in these type of situations for 100%.
Yeah, Cole got blown away in his last start, which I believe was on Sunday afternoon. So we'll see if he bounces back in this one. It's not a bad price if you're looking to take the Yankees. Kyle, any thoughts here between the Yanks and the Red Sox?
Yeah, these are two pitchers who profile pretty decently, right? And my first instinct is, look, I'm getting on the run line for the Yankees with Garrett Cole on the mound. I'm getting plus 110, minus 0.5. You don't see that very often when going against Garrett Cole. Now, of course, the part that makes you nervous here is the Yankees tend to not score a lot of runs early. So there's the nerves there, but it's a nice price on Garrett Cole. You're not going to see an awful lot, so I don't mind that. The one thing I will say, under 4.5, minus 115 makes a lot of sense. I don't think the Yankees score a lot of runs early off Eovaldi. Obviously, we're not expecting Boston to rake on Cole, although 2 of his last 3 starts, he hasn't been great. So there's a little concern there, but I expect a low-scoring game, especially early. I would lean the Yankees just to back Cole at that plus money number. It just makes a lot of sense. But really, the safer play for me, I don't see a lot of runs early. I'll take the under 4.5, minus 115.
All right, maybe a bounce-back scenario here to try to get right before the playoffs. 909, 910, New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers. McGill versus Lauer. You're seeing a slight favor here to Milwaukee. Opened up at 140 offshore. That now sits at 135. FanDuel opened up at 152 as a favorite to the home team, the Milwaukee Brewers. They now sit at 144. 8s across the board. As I look in this game, look, McGill's got a decent xFIP number over the past 30 days, but he's got some wacky numbers. Roughly about, 90 batters he's faced. Lefties torching him. 400 weighted on base percentage and an ISO power number of 294. Righties, a 261 ISO power number. I think the Milwaukee Brewers get right in this game because they just got off the train tracks of getting flattened by the Cardinals. What are you looking at, Jason? Your hometown Mets, watching them for a week and a half until they join you on the golf course.
Yeah, or Kyle, because I don't golf, but no, like the Brewers, they've kind of been a little underwhelming offensively in the last month or so. A 299 weighted OBA against righties in the last 30 days for this projected lineup. Now, I will say this lineup still, they're hitting a lot of line drives, 24.2% as a group. So there's still a solid amount of line drives that are being hit. They're just not getting on base very often. They're also striking out 24.3% of the time. So it's tough because the Mets, on the other hand, they're getting on base. They've got a 269 weighted OBA against lefties in the last 30 days, but they're not scoring very much because they're just not hitting those clutch hits. Now you have Alonso, Lindor, Baez, even Pilar. All of those guys have been pretty, solid against lefties in the last 30 days. Now I will say Lauer, 4.15 xFIP, strikeouts are high, walks are low, but he's also allowing 25% of line drives. The Mets, again, those guys I talked about, Alonso, Lindor, Baez, Pilar, all can do some damage against the lefty when it comes to elevating the baseball and hitting line drives. So, the Mets, they should be able to get on base, but you're not sure if they're going to be able to get that clutch hit like we've said kind of all season. With Milwaukee, those lefties like Yelich, like Wong, Narvaez, Peterson, they have obviously a lot of potential against McGill, who's been pretty bad against lefties. But again, they're not getting on base that very often. So even one blast might just be a solo shot. So I think I'll say the under in this game, at least in the first 5 innings. I think the under is the play in this one.
Mets and an under here, Kyle, seems to make sense a lot of the times. You do have 8s across the board here. Slight favorite against Milwaukee. Not a great pitcher on the mound, but they're just looking for wins at this point. Sometimes you got to get that psyche right. I think they have a decent shot to get back at it today at home in Milwaukee. Kyle, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, these are two teams that cause me to have major trust issues, obviously. But I will say this. I think the Mets score runs today. They profile pretty nicely against Lauer, as Jason talked about. You're getting a low team total, over 3.5 value menu. You just have to wait and see. I wasn't going to, but the more I look at it. Now, look, Lauer's been better over the last 30 days. His last 2 starts against the Mets, he's been absolutely dreadful. -6 and 2 DraftKings points, respectfully. That is really, really bad. You have an 828 weighted OPS. Jason mentioned the righties in the lineup. I like the home run prop today for Pete Alonso. And, all the other righties in that lineup, as Jason touched on, profile nicely. I think it's a low number here. Do I trust either of these teams to win? Hell no. I just can't touch a side on this one. But even the Brewers, you can get at 3.5 with some juice at BetMGM. I think both teams' team totals are live here. The Brewers don't profile all that horribly off McGill either. When you look at it, it's an 802 weighted 3-year OPS. He was pretty good in his last start against Milwaukee. But for me, Jason's going to like this. I hope I didn't jinx him too much, but I think I like this.
It doesn't matter anymore.
I like this team total over 3.5 -115. Come on, we got 1 week of regular season baseball. Do us a favor, Mets. Get to 4 damn runs. Let's have some fun. I think the Mets get to 4.
Let's go, Mets. How about this one? Late night action, 9:40 tonight on a Friday night, 9:29, 9:30. That is Houston and Oakland. Greinke versus Montas, 8s across the board. You're taking a look at the favorite here, Oakland Athletics, -115, -120 here in New Jersey. I think they get the Greinke tonight, being the Oakland Athletics. Looking at Greinke's last 30 days, was once a mighty pitcher, no longer in Major League Baseball. Close to a 6 xFIP number, not getting a lot of strikeouts, walking too many guys, a ridiculous weighted on base percentage of 559 to right-handed hitters, coupled with a 520 ISO power number. And as I take a look, I didn't bet this game, or at least I should say I didn't bet this yet. And I can't really read my handwriting, but if I'm looking here, is it 3.5?
Yes,
at minus
-120. I'm looking -120 offshore for the A's team total, and the Astros are 3.5.
It's because both low. That's just the reality. But yeah.
Because I had to actually take a look at that once again and say, is that 170 or is that what I think it's a much lower? Because I bet another game, but this one is looking like it's going to be on my card. I don't understand. Maybe it's just Oakland dead in the wood of this late, but 4 runs here off of Greinke. I think there's a possibility, Jason. What are you looking at out west tonight with maybe a last grasp effort here for Oakland to try to get into the playoffs?
So to your point, Greinke, his last 13 innings pitched, 3 starts, he's allowed 19 runs. And also 19 hits in those 13 innings. So, yeah, he's been really, 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 really bad. So, yeah, it's a great look here for, going up against Greinke here. Obviously, like you mentioned, his xFIP is really high. Strikeouts are low. The walks are basically the same as the strikeouts. So he's striking out just as many batters as he's walking in the last 30 days. And also the hard contact is at 54.1%. He's been awful against righties, like Donnie pointed out. So there's a lot to like here. Obviously, in the Athletics lineup, they'll have mostly right-handed bats. I would assume at least 6 righties in that lineup go up against Greinke, who he has struggled with as of late. And Montes, he's coming off one of his best starts of the season. He went in 7 innings, allowed just 1 hit against the Angels. Did have 4 walks in that game, and the walks are getting a little bit high for Montes, 9.3% of walks in the last 30 days. But outside that, he's been very good. The strikeouts are getting high. He's had 7 strikeouts in 3 of the last 4 games. So, yeah, a lot to like there. I think the Athletics get the job done. I wouldn't be surprised if the Astros scored some runs too. They have a great offense, but they're an inconsistent one, and it's really hard to figure them out. And when you're in Oakland, it usually goes to the pitcher a little bit more.
All right, taking a look at this game here out west, Houston versus the Athletics. And yeah, I did have to take a double take at that. I do think it's legitimate that the A's can get to 4 runs tonight. Don't care if they win. Just need them to wake up a little bit at the plate. But Thursday, perfect guy to. If you're not going to wake up against Zach Greinke at this point, you might as well just stay sleeping, Kyle, for the rest of September.
Yeah, I mean, the A's are a team that I've had a very contentious relationship with all year long. But that team total is low. And I think the Astros one is too, for that matter. Their projected lineup tonight, it's a combined 39 for 141 in their career off of Montas. Yep. That's a 277 average. They're hitting the crap out of the baseball right now. They profile all right. It's a 702 weighted 3-year OPS, a 741 for Greinke against Oakland. On the flip side, Greinke's actually been very good against Oakland. Now, that's not the same Greinke, but over his the batting order for their career, only a 188 career lifetime average off of Greinke. This game feels like an over. I think both teams get to 4 runs. The Astros team total is also at 3.5. I had to double take that as well. That's at -115. That's offshore here. And of course, I had the A's -120. That's offshore, over 3.5 as well. I like both teams' team total. I think this game plays to an over, and I think both lineups profile pretty nicely against the opposing pitcher.
Yeah, we'll see what happens at night. Keep in mind, it is Friday. Yes, it is a football Friday as we get ready for the weekend, so no better time to let you guys know about the Pick 6 contest here at sportsbookreview.com. $50,000 up for grabs during the season, $1,600 per week. If you have any questions, any issues, you want to get involved in this, look, there's a link below, sbrpicks.com/MLB. But Donnie, it's an NFL. Yes, that'll take you to the website there where you can find your way around and get yourself into this contest and win some money. Both myself and Kyle on the Football Show locked in our picks for the locked in our Pick 6 picks for week 3 here. If you like college football, get in. If you like pro football, get in. If you like them both, even better. Split those picks half and half or do whatever you want. The goal is to go 6-0 and see if you can take down some cash here. Let's flip it down to some value menu wagers on the card today. And as I teased a little bit earlier, I'm going to go one play. Went with one yesterday. It worked out. I got one more play that I'm going to go with today. And you know who's traveling, needs a victory, trying to hold off a certain Los Angeles Dodgers ball club? Yeah, you guessed it here. The San Francisco Giants. Now, am I looking towards Alex Wood? He should have a decent game on the mound. I don't care what he does on the mound. I care what's going to take place at the plate. Lambert getting the call up. This looks like one of those, we don't know how long this kid's going to go. And if he does, we hope he can just make it through the 4th or 5th inning. Everybody in this lineup, just about everybody outside of Buster Posey, which is funny, profiles amazing against right-handed pitching over the last 30 days. This is a high number, one that Kyle's going to appreciate. Yeah, here's my value, 6.5 -130. They are going to stone the Rockies today and put up 7 with ease. Wow. Just like yesterday. Well, how many did the Dodgers get yesterday, Kyle?
Yeah, 7 runs. I believe they got 7.
Hey, let's get the 7 today. I'm going with them, Jason. Give me the Giants. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's stay on the same game here. Excuse me. Of course, I'm also on the Cardinals Cubs over 8.5 in the full game in the first game of the doubleheader. So far, we have 0-0, so not a great look, but we know the Cardinals will eventually get going offensively like they've done the last 2 weeks. We'll stay with this Giants game. I'll go the Giants over 3.5 in the first 5 on the team total at -110. Now, Peter Lambert actually is his first start in the MLB since 2019. He had Tommy John surgery, so he hasn't been pitching. He was on the 60-day IL, and now he is back. In 2019, 7.25 ERA. That was his first year in the big leagues. He's now 24 years old. So he had a 7.25 ERA in 2019. Also had an xFIP of 5.66. Struck out just 13.5% of batters. Also walked 8.6% of batters. The line drive rate was high. Hard contact was high. Awful against lefties. Awful against righties. He's just a poor pitcher. So, yeah, I mean, probably won't go very deep in this game, but then you go up against that Rockies bullpen, and you're feeling pretty good about it anyway. Like Donnie said, the offense profiles really well with a high ISO, high weighted OBA, limited strikeouts, and high walks. So everything looks great for them to at least score 4 runs in the first 5 innings, and, of course, get to 7 or more in the full game.
All right, there you go. What are we looking at today for our value menu wagers, Kyle?
Well, yesterday the Blue Jays let us down on the value menu. They couldn't get to the 4 runs, and the Twins got to their team total, as we sort of talked about there, and they smashed on them. I'm going to give the young 90s All-Star, the baby 90s All-Stars, one more chance today. I like them -0.5 in the first 5. It's a nice short number at -105. You've got Berrios against his old team. Profiles really nicely against Minnesota. 657 weighted 3-year OPS in his one start against his former team here pretty recently, just last week. Pitched very, 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 very well. On the flip side of that, you've got our boy Bailey Ober on the mound for Minnesota. Was smashed by this team last week. I think the Blue Jays, obviously we know they need to win baseball games. They need to get going early. I think they can. It's an 831 weighted 3-year OPS for Ober versus Toronto. I also like Marcus Semien to hit a home run. I don't mind if you go with Guerrero as well. I think the Blue Jays get off to a good start tonight. Berrios should be able to hold down that Twins lineup. So I'll take the Blue Jays minus 0.5 in the first 5 at minus 105. And you know what? Just for the hell of it, Friday's payday, and I'm looking at Jason's face, and I want to see him smile.
I'm just watching this Cubs Cardinal game.
There we go. We're gonna have J.A. Happ out there doing his best Tom Glavine impression here. But we are going to go ahead and take that Mets team total over 3.5 as well. I think they get there tonight. I like how they profile against Lauer. I think the Mets get some runs tonight.
All right, odds boosted section. I'll tell you who just hit an odds boost here that Kyle will appreciate. A Bryson DeChambeau drive went 417 yards here, so pretty impressive stuff. I mean, come on now.
I don't even know. I've tried to do that crap, and it's just like I don't understand how it's possible. I can't. I can get to like 315, 320 if I really smoke it. Another 100 yards? I don't know what I'd have to do. I honest to God don't know what I'd have to do.
And just playing a different golf course sometimes at this point. But the odds boost I'm looking at today on Fox Bet, it's a light one here. It's a max bet, only $10, but I think it makes sense. It's $10 to win $55, and that's Brandon Belt and CJ Cron each to get 1 RBI or more in Colorado today. I thought it was worth the wager there. And again, the max is $10. Not me. I always tell you guys what I bet. I didn't bet $10. They only allow you to bet $10 on this. So hoping to turn that 10 into $55 here. And once again, it's at Fox Bet, Belt and Cron, 1 or more RBIs apiece to try to cash that ticket in here. Jason, odds boost today. What are you looking at?
Yeah, let's say in that game on Fox Bet, also like Chris Bryant or Trevor Story to hit a home run, boosted from plus 125 to plus 150. Again, like Donnie just pointed out, this one is $20 that pays $50 for the wager. But Chris Bryant, 259 ISO, 396 weighted OBA against righties, and also Story, 579 ISO and a weighted OBA 474 against lefties. So definitely a lot of potential here for Bryant or Story to get a home run in this game. And of course, we think there's going to be plenty of runs in this game as well. So you just never know.
All righty, Kyle, where are you going on your odds boost today for a Friday?
I'm going with my boy Adam Duvall, who got a bad beat the other day. I think he gets a home run tonight. It's on DraftKings, boosted up to 400 against this kid, Reese Neer, who, see, I want him to do it early because, this guy's going to go maybe 2 innings. Then you're getting the bullpen game out of the Padres. Yeah, I think Duvall gets that home run.
Is this the first game or the second game? Because the second game
he's the guy announced for the second game later tonight.
It'll be a 7-inning game, which is probably boosted a little higher, which is even better for you if he does. Exactly.
That's exactly right. So Reese Nair going up against Freed later tonight. That's a 7:00 game after they finish off this, a suspended game or something that they have to finish off early in the day. But I think Duvall, he's got a stick in his craw a little bit. What happened? I think he gets that home run tonight. Plus 400, a lot worse number you can get on a power hitter like Duvall.
Is that Atlanta-San Diego game a 7-inning one later tonight, or is the early?
Night game,
so that's a 7?
7-inning.
I wasn't 100% sure either on that.
Yeah,
okay, good.
The first game goes 9 innings because it was already started and has to go 9 innings. The second game will be 10 o'clock our time and Kyle's time, 7 o'clock, and then that'll only be 7 innings.
That's wild. That's 8.5 out in San Diego for a 7-inning game. That's something to keep an eye on in that one. So we'll see
especially
what that.
Max Fried on the
I feel bad for East Coast sports fans. God, you guys got to stay up late for things.
Stay up late for anything.
Like Donnie and I couldn't imagine waking up at like 9 o'clock in the morning and randomly watching
panic mode.
Like we prepare for
panic mode.
Trust me, I'll be panic mode every morning. Like when there's 9:35 a.m. baseball games, like you got to be kidding me right now.
Yeah, I like it this way more. So
interesting.
Pure panic here. All right, let's get to some bets on the Major League Baseball board. Myself only going with my one play here. San Francisco's team total 6.5 minus 130. That is at BetMGM. A couple of plays that just missed the board for me. Tampa Bay's team total, Oakland's team total, and the Dodgers team. I think the Dodgers raked tonight, by the way, as well. But I'm just going to stick with one. It's been working for me. It's been an unbelievable week betting in Major League Baseball here coming down the stretch in September. So I'm going to keep it on the Giants. Any looks here, Jason, for you, best bets and bankers? Yeah,
I like that you just what you just said on the Dodgers. I got the Dodgers over 2.5 in the first 5. On the team total at minus 140. Humberto Castellanos is on the mound, and in his last 3 starts in September, he's now allowed 19 hits, 11 runs in 14 innings with 11 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 home runs. And of course, the roof is going to be open in this game as well. So Yeah, Castellanos has been pretty bad against lefties. 408 weighted OBA, ISO 361, but also not great against righties with a 391 weighted OBA and an ISO of 174. So you'll have Betts, you'll have Muncy, Smith, all these guys with solid power, and really anyone in this lineup can do damage. They're all keeping the ball off the ground and hitting, line drives, especially at the bottom of the order. So yeah, like you said, the Dodgers should be able to do some damage and score at least 3 runs in the first 5 innings.
What do you got today, Kyle? What are you looking at, huh? What do we got?
I'm fading Jose Suarez of the Angels, and you're getting the Mariners team total over 3.5 at -150 at BetMGM. It's the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the card at 10.99. The lineup in 38 plate appearances is 12 hits for a 3.16 average. And when you look, you go, okay, how many righties are going to be able to hit here? A ton of righties in the lineup, and let's not forget Seager, not bad against lefties, 3 for 7 in his lifetime off Suarez with the home run as well. I think the Mariners get to 4 runs tonight off this bad pitcher and a bad bullpen for the Angels. So give me that Mariners team total over 3.5. That's over at BetMGM, and it's -150.
All right, let's get to the odds lightning round here on a Friday full card here. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Hey, Philadelphia playing another bad baseball team. How about yesterday? They spot the Pittsburgh Pirates 6 runs and storm the fort and take that game 12-6. It's not a really good idea to get down a touchdown in a baseball game and try to fight all the way back. So as we take now all the way across the board, 225s, 235s, 240s, 8.5 here. Do I think the Phillies win? Yes. Am I betting them? Absolutely not.
Yeah, look, the one thing that the Phillies do really well is they limit strikeouts against lefties, and Howard will be on the mound, 19.5% strikeouts and 14.6% walks. So if the Phillies are patient and they've been against lefties, if they continue to do that, they should be able to get on base and score some runs in this game, especially early in that game. And then you have Gibson on the mound. He's also walking a heavy amount of batters, but xFIP isn't bad. Strikeouts are pretty high, at least high enough. And really, this Pittsburgh lineup, especially at the bottom half of the order, they're pretty poor. 146 ISO, weighted OBA 287. Anytime you're below 300 on the weighted OBA scale, not very good for any hitting lineups. So, yeah, I like the Phillies here. I think they should be able to score early in these games. But, all the times that I do take them in the first 5 to score runs, they do not do it. And, so I'll be staying away. But they should be able to score enough runs.
All right, Texas and Baltimore. Hey, Spencer Howard, our good old friend, is on the mound today versus Wells, the lefty. 9.5 across the board. 2 atrocious baseball teams playing on a Friday night. We got better things to do, but we will cap this game, Kyle.
Yeah, and look, I got to tell you, it's the second highest OPS on the card. I was getting close to the Rangers team total. I really had to slap myself in the face and tell me to knock it off. Both these pitchers are bad. There should be runs here. These guys have absolutely nothing to play for. I do like the Adolis Garcia home run prop here as well. And look, guys, we have under 50 thumbs up. I already had to break up with the golf course girl yesterday. Let's not hurt my feelings anymore. Can we get the thumbs up to 100 for Christ's sake? Under 50 this far into the show is just insulting, for that matter.
We would have more people if we had an official link out here. So
yeah, that's right.
The 200 in here watching. How you
fired.
found the show. Thank you for getting in here, but that's
right.
Pretty impressive.
That's right. And it appears that we don't have as many weird food eaters in here today, so that's a little bit interesting as well. I'm not getting any hey, yeah, hey, do you guys ever eat spaghetti on top of your pizza or some weird, I don't know, which actually probably doesn't sound all that bad. But anyways, to my point here, I think both team totals are live. Both lineups profile well. This is the worst pitching matchup on the card. These 2 pitchers are absolutely atrocious. Again, you just have to ask yourself, can I trust these lineups? If I was going to pick one side to get to their team total, I think it would be the Rangers. But again, tread lightly there. And again, be careful where you put your units.
Yeah, a lot of people out here, just coasting to the end line in Major League Baseball here. This is one of those games. Also, take a look at 905, 906, Washington and Cincinnati. Washington coasting in. Cincinnati, I guess, still trying to fight their way maybe to a wild card, which doesn't look like that's going to be the case, but they're still favored. 184 in New Jersey, 172 offshore. Cincinnati is a better ball club here. Espino is one of those guys I can't stand to bet on or against or even any game he's in because he's such a slop ball pitcher. When it doesn't work, you rake him. But every once in a while when he locates that slop, it works and it's very effective here. Do I want to pay the 184 on Cincinnati? Probably not. Maybe looking more towards an 8.5. But then again, Gray should be able to keep that Washington lineup intact here today. Any looks here, Jason, on this game between the Nationals and the Reds?
Yeah, look, I guess the Reds are kind of like what the Mets are. They'll get guys on base and then they might not score them because they don't have too many guys that are hitting for a solid amount of power. But they're not hitting that many ground balls. They are hitting a solid amount of line drives, and that's kind of what gets to Espino a little bit. So I do like the Reds in this spot. I think they should be able to score some runs in this game. Now Espino, he's been pretty good this year, but hard contact is high, the ground ball rate is low, the line drive rate also high. So eventually things should start to kind of unravel for him. So yeah, I think the Reds should be able to score on their team total in the first 5 at least.
All right, how about this one? Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians. First thought, you say, now hold on. Cease is on the mound. They're only a -113, -118. Isn't Cleveland done pretty much here? But guess who's back? Yes, back again. It is Shane Bieber on the mound. Now, he will be on a pitch count here, so you might get, maximum, 4 to 5 innings probably out of him. Then you're going to have to deal with that Cleveland bullpen. But it is nice to see him back here. Any thoughts on this game with Bieber back on the mound? I believe his first start since June, which is kind of fascinating. That you're going to throw this guy September 24th, like it's important to get him back on the field for what? I have no idea. I have no idea.
This game just makes me want to run for the hills. I will say that Cleveland has had some success. 2 of their last 3 starts against Cease, they have rocked him for -6 fantasy points. And I got to say, tuna and eggs, that sounds absolutely disgusting. I don't know what who would wake up and eat tuna and eggs? Oh, my God, I'd rather put my milk in first, honestly. I'm putting my milk in first before I'm doing tuna and eggs. I'm not a big seafood guy there. There's a joke for that, but Esteban will probably get mad. He always gets mad when I make the bad joke, so I won't do it.
Yep.
He gets mad at me, and I love Esteban, so I won't do it. But tuna and eggs.
Well, he wants to hear it now. Yeah,
my mom I grew up not eating much seafood. This is hide your kids. My mom says she won't cook anything that smells like yesterday's underwear, so I don't eat a lot of seafood. I just kind of grew up with that in my head. I have an interesting mother and a wonderful
lobster.
mother. And
let's get some lobster.
That's good. Oh, there we go. But on this one, I guess you lean to the White Sox. You don't know what you're going to get out of Bieber. But no, I will. I'll pass on this game.
Yep, Lex Joseph says he mixes his boiled eggs in his tuna. Deliciousness out here. Kansas City and Detroit, another delicious matchup here. Hernandez versus Mize. Look, we go down the street. Look, we're gonna win money tonight, but we still got to go over the card. Even though some of these games are so goddamn boring, it's ridiculous. The Royals and the Detroit Tigers here on a Friday night, 8.5. And these, you know how these games are boring? The odds makers go, "Hey, what about this game?" They go, "Brother, throw 110 up there. Who cares at this?" So what are you looking at, Jason, in this game between these two?
Yeah, look, Hernandez has a high xFIP, but his weighted OBA and ISO numbers aren't bad at all. So when you're talking about the Tigers offense going up against Hernandez probably will end up succeeding in this game. And then you also, on the other hand, you have Mize, a 5.10 xFIP, but Mize, he's a better pitcher than that xFIP. So you just never know when he's going to turn it on and play well. And obviously, when you face, worse teams, then you have a good chance at performing and playing well. So, yeah, the game obviously staying away from, but probably goes under, at least in the first 5 innings.
By the way, comment in the chat box here. Kyle needs to try sushi. I love seafood. I can't stand sushi. Now, why does that not make sense? I don't know. Yeah, I'm the opposite.
And what's funny is I like spicy tuna rolls. I'll only eat the spicy tuna rolls, which is kind of interesting, but that's it. Just sushi. And that's really a fabric of when you're dating. I lived in San Diego a long time.
Yeah.
The ladies love sushi down there, so you just have to get used to it, because if you're not taking them out for sake bombs, they're not going out with you. Plain and simple.
There you go. Miami, Tampa Bay, Cabrera, and Robertson today. Heavy favorite for Tampa Bay, and rightfully so. -275, 8.5 across the board. That's why I did have a possible circled play here on Tampa Bay's team total 4.5, -145. I think they hit today as they cruise towards the playoffs. Not looking to back Miami in the spot, but it's a big number here, Kyle.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like that team total. The Rays profile beautifully. It's the 3rd highest weighted 3-year OPS, as a matter of fact, at 923. And Cabrera stinks against left-handed pitching. Of course, you're getting all that power from the left-hand side. Meadows, Choi profile is nice. Of course, Low or Lau. I'm never going to get that right till the end of time. Did Low leave or did Lau leave? I can never. Lau left.
Low left.
Low left. So it's
Low
Lau
and left.
Here. Why can't I get this? I don't know. All these things in my head, and that's one I just can't get. But I like how Tampa Bay profiles tonight against Cabrera. I think they get to runs. You don't want to be carrying the bag here at that price, even though it is the Miami Marlins. But I do think that Rays team total over 4.5 is pretty nice. And something good happened for Jason, it looks like.
Goldie.
There we go.
And St. Louis never loses. Maybe St. Louis wins the rest of the games in September and walks into the finals, because I guess they're going to have to play with the team from out. Yeah, exactly. Good luck on that.
Or the
But then again, the
Dodgers.
Dodgers, who you don't want to face, a team that's won like 35 in a row coming to town. So we'll see how that one gets out of here. Let's keep moving down the list. We'll skip over the second St. Louis and Chicago Cubs game, and we will get to the San Francisco, Colorado game here. Wood versus Lambert on the mound. Heavy favorite for San Francisco, and rightfully so. 12.5, rightfully so once again here. Runs will be scored, and San Francisco will score a touchdown in this one, Jason. Your thoughts up in the thin air, Colorado.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. That's why I'm on the over 3.5 in the first 5 on the team total for the Giants. And, we don't know how long Lambert will go coming off the Tommy John surgery. But even if you get the Rockies bullpen, it's fine. Should be able to score plenty of runs in this game. And so I agree with you. And then also I have that odds boost there for Story and for Brian to, one of them to hit a home run at boosted to plus 150 from plus 125 on Fox Bet as well. So, yeah, thinking a lot of runs in this game.
Yeah, grilled cheese out here. Kyle is right. Bacon on your grilled cheese. Also, Lex Joseph is correct as well. Tomato, very good. I mean, they're good compliments to a grilled cheese sandwich. Grilled cheese, all American type food here. Don't worry. Somebody will come in the chat box and say something ridiculous about grilled cheese here very shortly, I should assume. Toronto and Minnesota. Kyle, I know you already talked about this game quickly on this.
Sure.
Barrios and Ober on the mound today. 150 favorite for Toronto. They need this game. Toronto needs this game. But as we said, just because you need it doesn't mean you get it.
Exactly. And they do need it, and they do have the pitching advantage here, and they have the lineup advantage here, and they're in desperation mode. So all signs point to Toronto. I do think they get it done in the first 5. Disappointing outcome yesterday, only able to scrape across 2 runs. Of course, Minnesota got to 7. We sort of touched on it. That Minnesota's team total was pretty live yesterday, the way they profiled off of Mats, if I remember correctly. But I do think Barrios gets through his old team early here. Ober may not even make it to the 5th inning, so maybe you get an inning or 2 of that bad Twins bullpen as well. I think the Blue Jays get it done here in the first 5 innings, minus 0.5, and it's a short number. It is not a bad number when you look at the advantages at minus 105 if you take the run line in the first 5 innings. So it's on the value menu. I like it quite a bit, and home run props for Simeon, Hernandez, Guerrero all make a lot of sense tonight.
All right, we'll keep moving down the list as we go here on a Friday Major League Baseball show. That is Seattle and Los Angeles. Gilbert versus Suarez, the lefty on the mound. Slate favorite here for Seattle as they try to keep themselves in the playoff race. If we go for an updated wild card number here, and Seattle only 2 back, Toronto 1 back. And then you take a look at the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox fighting it out this weekend. So exciting times here if you're watching the AL, Jason. Thoughts on this game here? Do we continue the streak here with the Mariners as they try to fight back, or to the Angels, which I don't really know what they're playing for at this point here? Got to lean Seattle, right, on that cheap number?
Yeah, I wonder if the Mariners are going to put out a lot of lefties against Suarez, who is a lefty, because against lefties in his 81 plate appearances this year against lefties, a weighted OBA 425 and ISO of 292. Now against righties, 254 weighted OBA, ISO of 114. The strikeouts are always going to be low for Suarez, and the walks will always be high, but he does get solid amount of ground balls. He's just struggled more against lefties this year, and I'm not sure if it's an actual thing that it's been a 3-year deal or just this year. But there is Crawford, Seager, Kleinick in there. Those are the 3 lefties. I wonder if they're going to add a couple of other lefties in the lineup here to go up against Suarez, because if they just have a lot of righties, they could struggle to score some runs or enough runs to be able to win the game. But Gilbert, another guy, a young guy, 4.34 xFIP, but strikes out 26.4% of the batters, also walks just 5.4%. So that's good, but does not get a high amount of ground balls, also struggles to keep the line drives down as well. So, and pretty bad against righties. But really, again, you can't really trust this Angels offense. They're striking out 26.4% of the time against righties, and they really have nothing going for them outside of Ohtani and Walsh against right-handed pitching. So at the end of the day, yeah, this one's really tough. I would probably stick with the under. I don't really trust either of these offenses, but at the end of the day, both these pitchers have had their moments as well where they've struggled. So again, this is a tough one to cap, and I'll be staying away from this one. All
right, Los Angeles Dodgers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Gonsolin versus Castellanos, a 10 across the board, and the roof is open today. And a heavy favorite for the Dodgers, and rightfully so. They should tee off on Arizona. Any thoughts on this game, Kyle, here with a 10 as a total in this ball game?
Look, I got to go with you. It's a scary look. The Dodgers should score here. The Castellanos, this guy is at best sub-mediocre. I don't want to jinx it too much here, but you got to find a way to take the Dodgers here, right? And if you look in the first 5, if you look in that run line, sometimes you can get a nice number here. Minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 145. That's probably the way I would go here. We've seen Arizona be sneaky late in games. They just came back late and beat Atlanta last night, but I do think the Dodgers rake. I have a ton of Dodgers in DFS tonight, as everyone else will. And look, the Dodgers need to win games too. If they want to win that division title, the Dodgers need to win. I like the Dodgers here in the first 5 innings, and I think their team total is absolutely live.
All right, short game again tonight, 10-10 between Atlanta and San Diego. So we'll skip over that one. Nice little show for us today on a Friday. But as we always like to do, clear the bases, get you guys out of here with exactly what we bet today. I did have a lot of games that I did like today, but I settled on one, and it's a high number. And I have no problems with betting 5.5, 6.5 in Colorado, particularly when getting a bad pitcher against a really good batting lineup. I'm going to take those Giants out of here who absolutely need to win the hold off the Los Angeles Dodgers, 6.5 minus 130, and also go at Fox Bet $10 to win $55 back. Belt and Crone, 1 RBI or more a piece. Jason, what do you have today?
So again, we're on the over 8.5 in this Cardinals-Cubs game that's on right now. It's 2-0 in the bottom of the third. So yeah, we're running out of a little bit of time here, as it is a 7-inning game. But we'll keep hoping that we can get some runs in one big inning off of one of these poor pitchers. And then of course also on the Giants over 3.5 in the first 5 on the team total minus 110. And also like the Dodgers over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 140 as other value plays. And the odds boost will be Bryant or Story to one of them get a home run at plus 150 on Fox Bet, boosted from plus 125.
Boosted. Kyle, what do you got tonight on a Friday night?
So on our value menu, we're going to go that Mets team total over 3.5. We're going to go those Blue Jays minus 0.5 in the first 5. Our play today is going to be that Mariners team total over 3.5. I saw some people asking about 4.5. Obviously, if I think they're going to get to 4 runs, I think they can get to 5, so I don't hate that. But if you can get to BetMGM and pay the juice, I feel safer at 3.5. Odds boost, of course, is Adam Duvall, home run prop boosted to 400. And the home run list, which I did forget to say on the show yesterday, my apologies. Of course, Adam Duvall, we talked about, Kyle Seager, Adolis Garcia, Salvador Perez, Brandon Lau, Joey Votto, Pete Alonso, and Marcus Semien.
All right, good stuff. I'm going to sit back here and watch the Ryder Cup the rest of the day. Also get into some heavy football analytics. No, not really analytics, but obviously capping the games and seeing some of these final injury reports that are going to float in on Friday. We guys want to thank you for coming in. There are 237 people watching right now without an official link. You guys found it. You guys found your way here on a Friday, and hopefully we paid you back with some good information and entertainment here, and maybe we'll have some ridiculous food stories from over the weekend that we can share back on Monday here. But once again, thanks for tuning in and sharing this Friday afternoon Major League Baseball card with us. I'm Donnie RightSide along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We're the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. Today was your show for Friday, and as always, good luck on those wagers this weekend.